All right, Nick and I are back at it. Another live broadcast, taking your questions live. Um, any art marketing, photography marketing, creative marketing, business issues you might have. That's what we're going to get into today. And I'm really excited about it because we haven't had a chance to do one of these things in a couple of days, and we were in, quite frankly, a great rhythm. So, for those of you that are tuning in, you've got an art marketing question, a pricing, branding, website, what's up, Barry? Question. This is the place you can ask them. You guys can ask any and all questions. You could be a customer or not be a customer. We just like answering them, quite frankly. It's good for business. So I have a question. I got to get this pinned up on Instagram here. Have a question, leave a comment. So while you guys are thinking about your questions that you want to get answered, I got to do a quick, spice it up with a customer call out right out of the gates. Okay. And hold on, I gotta go get her name because I gotta give her some love. But she's been a customer for I think like a year and change, and she's literally a tattoo artist that's also selling her work. And I'm pulling her name up here. Doggone it, what did I do? Okay, I'm just gonna show it off and we'll just go from there. But I honestly believe could be a stand-up comedian as well because she is that freaking hilarious. Okay,
I saw this one.
Yeah, you got to just give it a look because this is really hilarious, and this is just a huge shout out to her.
The fuck are you doing awake?
I'm trying to run a sale, dude.
Do you have any idea what time it is?
Yeah, time to buy a print.
You sitting there scrolling all night?
I only make that noise if nobody buys anything.
Put the phone down.
You first.
Go to sleep.
There's only 2 days left of the sale.
Take care of yourself.
I don't think you understand how artists operate.
Go to bed.
Okay.
Sale ends 4/26. I mean, that's just good marketing. That's just good marketing. And I'm pretty sure it's Katie. I'm sorry, I had your name all ready to go to give you an Instagram shout out, but I'll do it. I'll do it on an upcoming episode. But you get that kind of creativity in there, and challenge yourself to have some of your creativity and some of your marketing, and it works, right? It just works. Is the hub up and running yet? What enhancements are there for existing copiloters?
The hub is the art marketing hub is everybody who has that or who bought it. You're going to be moved onto it probably next week, right? So the key thing was the ability to create a new task, which would be like a new social media post and schedule it, a new email and schedule it, with all the templates and designs and everything that are in there. That was released. I think that they're just stabilizing the release, making sure it's perfect. And then everybody who bought Art Marketing Hub is going to get contacted and be onboarded probably in the next week or so. We will send out a notification to anyone who's going to be on that.
Yeah,
and if you're on Copilot, you get all of those features, so automatically.
Yeah, it's automatic. Didn't we have a new feature drop today?
We may have. I don't know if we announced it.
Okay, let's just leave it be. But anyway, new features coming all the time. We enjoy it. Here's a good question. Is it a bad idea to upload photos on art groups that are on Facebook? No, not at all. It's a great way to find audiences that are potentially interested in the work that you're creating. So that's not a bad idea at all. You should totally do it. Just make sure don't just carpet bomb your stuff in a group, right? Post something and then respond to 100% of the comments if you're going to do it, because that's how you get the most ROI out of it, right?
Yeah, and I've got a comment on this for sure, because there's an artist in my community, okay, and our community has a Facebook group, okay. It's very small, small. Yeah, there's probably like, I mean, I'm guessing, Pat, there's maybe like 200 homes or 300 homes in my community, so very small, but this artist is painting people's homes. Okay. It's a watercolor artist painting people's homes. All right. And he just posts them in the group. Okay. And people love it. And so here's the advice though. And I think that this applies to any Facebook group that you might want to post your art in. You're not posting a link back to your site. You're not posting like, here's how to buy one from me. You're not posting how much they cost. If people ask in the comments,
And
you
then,
do that.
yes.
Yes, you do that. And that, that's what tends to happen. That's what tends to happen in there. But people absolutely love them. And this is just a great way to get commissions and a great way to, get people to check you out and all that stuff. And what's another great point? Another great point on this is that I think this is really important for everyone who just thinks about where's my follower count? Where's my email list? And those numbers are kind of important because they're directional, but just understanding how art sales work. Because with this guy, okay, I'm Pat, I'm moving down the funnel, right? I'm
in real time.
I'm probably going to talk to my wife. I'm going to talk to my wife hey, maybe we should get one,
Yeah.
I'm not quite there yet, but I'm because it's not urgent. It's not urgent for me, but I'm the next time I talk to my wife about art or decorating, I'll be oh yeah, you know what? You got to check this out. We might want to get one. Okay. And am I following this artist? No. Am I going to follow this artist? No. Because it's not, I don't want to see, his art is not the type of art that I'm looking to look at every single day in my feed. Right.
Yep.
But I really appreciate the artist, and the artist is really talented, and we're moving down the funnel, and he has no idea. No idea. Right. I'm not a follower that's following him. I'm not on his email list. I'm not going to be. And one day I might ask him to just, hey, we want to get a commission. How much is it? Right. And that'll just happen. But his marketing, because he's posting these things, they're popping up in this group once a week or something like that. And
it's a new house every time. And you're like, oh man, this is
how many people are like me kind of moving down the funnel? So I think this is really, really important to understand. This is how marketing works, because what this guy could easily do? Post once, never post again, and that didn't work. Right.
Yeah.
And it's that's what most people do. And you don't even realize that it takes time to move people down the funnel. It might take 7 to 10 of these things for me to see, and I think that's really interesting.
And what he's talking about is in marketing, they teach us it's called the effective frequency. And it's the number of times you need to be exposed to a product until you actually feel like buying it. Right. And, there's no magic number that everyone knows, but in art, it's certainly a high number. So the consistency becomes so important. And to your point, how many artists and photographers are just not aware of that? And there's this normal refrain of I posted on Instagram a couple of times and then nothing happened, so I quit. It's no, you got to get that effective frequency up, right? It's a very, very important number. Each and every time that you get exposure with your art to a prospective buyer, they're getting one step closer to actually purchasing it. And it's why I love the merchandise so much. When I talk about merch, is that's another way to get your work in front of eyeballs, right? Yeah. Where they would see it 6 and 7 and 8 and 10 times before they make the big purchase decision. So if you guys are just tuning in, well, number one, if you're just tuning in and you want to learn about what we do, I'm running a webinar literally 30 minutes from now. It's on Zoom. It's free. It's going to be awesome. And I even worked in some buttons on my soundboard that I'm going to show you guys in a second, because I'm just okay. And all you have to do is leave a comment if you're watching on Facebook or if you're watching on Instagram with the word Zoom, and I will send you the link to the session. Starts in 30 minutes. And then even if you can't make it, as long as you register for it, I will send you a replay, which is also very cool. But for everyone else, if you've got art marketing questions, all you have to do is leave a comment and we will answer them live. One of the interesting things that you just mentioned too on the home niche is really, really interesting. Okay. And you guys wouldn't know this, but Nick and I grew up in the same town, and there was this house in Balboa Island, so we used to spend a bunch of time down there. And Balboa Island in particular has these plates. Okay. There are these glass plates that you put your name on, and you pick a design, and it hangs in your house like a piece of home decor, right? And in Nick's story, he's talking about how everyone in the neighborhood keeps seeing these things, and they're going to kind of become like a cool status symbol of the neighborhood, right? They just are, right? Everyone wants to have one of those things hanging somewhere in their house. It's the same thing with these plates on Balboa Island, and everyone puts their last name and established, right? When you got married or when you moved to the neighborhood or whatever. And she had some friends in town from the UK that had never come before, and she had given the gift to them. And they've moved all over the world, and they constantly take this plate everywhere, right? And so I think these notions of like home decor and like, you know, a period type of piece of home decor is a huge deal. And I think the painting of the house is definitely a huge niche that's on the rise and has been for quite some time. But it's just a great way to think about your marketing and like, would my art qualify for something like that? Right.
Yeah. And here's the thing too, this artist that I'm referring to that did this, he's got his own subject matter. He's in a couple of galleries because I went to his website just to check it out. He's not promoting the home niche at all on his website. And I just love that, you know, I'm not saying that I love the fact that he's not promoting it on his website because like he probably could, but I love it because while he's just got multiple irons in the fire. He's got his subject matter niche, you know, he's got this, custom artwork, you know, commission, angle on the homes. I don't even know how many angles he's going with the custom artwork and how many groups he's posting in, but he's finding a way to get his eyeballs. To get eyeballs on his art more often every day. And that's like the biggest thing for everyone to step back and look at is like, Pat, how amazing the times we live in are with social media, you know, that you can just post in a group, that this guy can just post his art in a group that I'm in and I'm seeing his art. I mean, like without paying anything, he didn't have to pay for an ad or anything like that. And I saw his art and I'm moving down his funnel and, you know, billions of people on social media a day. And the fact that you as an artist can market directly to these people, you know, in these different ways.
It's insane.
And it's unbelievable. And get eyeballs on your art it's just an unbelievable thing, you know? And it's just, that is where that's the big thing, right? Like with this, when you hear about like the creator economy and how the opportunity has never been better for artists, this is underpinning the whole thing. It's the fact that you actually you can do marketing, you can get eyeballs on your product. You just got to have a good enough product and you got to just put, you know, you got to put some effort into getting your artwork out there. Like this person that we're talking about is, you know, get multiple irons in the fire and all that, and you can make it happen. This was not possible 20 years ago. That's the big thing. Before social media,
it wasn't even possible 10 years ago.
Yeah. You had to have galleries, you had to have publishers, you know, you had to have some sort of distribution, somebody who had access to distribution because you had to get, you know, eyeballs on your art. And the only way to do that was to physically have it somewhere, you know, because there wasn't a way to do it like this, but the whole world has completely changed, you know, and we're way down. It changed, you know, many years ago, and we're way down this rabbit hole now. Like everywhere we go, everyone's on their phones all the time. You know, they're in one group or another. They're on their main feed. They're in their community groups. They're in this group. They're in, you know, any types of groups, and you can have access to them, you know, and you just got to push your art.
Yeah. It's sort of astounding, quite frankly. Okay, hold on. I had a comment and I got everything pulled up here. So let me just pull this up because it'll be telling. All right, so I'm going to read your question first. And so I'm an artist painting whimsical art. Can you give us an example of merch, right? And so, you know, I look at her site and I mean, you look at this and it's like, okay, yes, it's whimsical, but you know, this art could go on just about anything merchandise related, like all of it. You know, like so many of you guys like try to say like make it difficult. You know, kind of looks like the little houses in this kids cart commercial. The kids.
These are cool. I like it. I like this stuff.
Yeah, and you're doing fairs and shows already, which is great. Yeah, you know, like love merch or hate merch because it can sometimes be a charge.
But let's say, what is merch?
Anything for me, my definition, and maybe you and I have a different one. Anything that's not wall art related.
I think that's a good.
That is my favorite definition. That is the only one that I want. And like, you know, the reason that I bring it up all the time, okay, is because there's two fundamental rules. One, the easiest customer to get is the one that you already have. Fundamental rule in this business. It's much easier for you guys as artists and photographers to get a customer to come back and purchase again than it is to get a customer to purchase for the first time. Okay, those are just facts. And then two, wall art by and large is usually not thought of as an impulse purchase. Okay, it's not, ooh, I'm scrolling through my feed and I'm having an interesting day. Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna just buy that piece of wall art. Now, some of it falls into that bracket, but the majority of it doesn't. The majority of it is like, okay, I need to measure my space. I need to talk to my significant other. I need to think about this. And so when you have a product that can be an impulse purchase, of which merchandise is just such a perfect one, you guys, when you're marketing, have the opportunity to reach somebody for the first or the second time, and then boom, give them a little dopamine hit for a small item, and you've now acquired a customer. And that's really, really hard to do with just wall art. And that's why I'm so pro for it. And I don't even really care, Nick, what it is. I just want them to have some of it, you know?
Yeah. And if it doesn't resonate with you, don't do it.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't have to sell merchandise. Like if you don't feel like it's right for your brand or anything like that, you don't have to do it. So just ignore this. But you know, and I think we even have to step back even further just because to make sure everybody understands what we're talking about, right? Everything not wall art, meaning t-shirts, puzzles, coasters, you know, mugs, you know,
anything. It can
cups,
literally be anything.
you know, tumblers or whatever you call them, yoga mats, bags, anything like that. Merchandise is what we're saying. We're calling it merch for short. And you can get your artwork printed on that. Like for example, at Art Storefronts, we have all of this done, print on demand, automated for you. So you can pick whatever media types you want to offer. So if you only wanted to offer puzzles or something like that, or calendars, you can offer whatever you want, right? And then the printing company will print it when somebody buys it and ship it right to them, and you don't have to do anything. It's totally automated and hands-free for you, right? And so these items, you know, call them impulse items, call them gift items. It's like the gift market is a very, very big market, right? So when you take the concept of like the size of the art market, the wall art market, and the gift market, your business is now serving a way bigger revenue potential, you know? And that's just kind of an academic way of thinking about it. But it's up to you on what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like one of the things that we continue to learn, and we've been at this for like 10 years now, is like every single solitary artist and photographer has a different path. And there's some that do some of the things and others that don't. And it's totally okay, right? There's like not any one path or any one way you have to do it. You know, like one of the things that we were talking about recently is like one of these marketing techniques that's like gaining in prominence is this notion of a print drop, i.e. you're an artist that paints originals. You don't sell prints ever. You don't sell them. You just have originals. And then once or twice a year, you open your store up and you have a print drop. And they kind of stole the concept. What were like the drops? I think it started first in like clothing, quite frankly. Yeah. You know, like we're going to have this drop of this one thing. And it's just a way to build scarcity. And that doesn't work for everybody. But, you know, it's like the longer we're at this, the less emotional he and I get about any single solitary individual tactic or any individual path. Like, do what works for you? Our job is just to make it easier and give you the roadmap of that's how you want to go about it. And some of these things you can try, and if they work for you, great. And if they don't, then don't do them again. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Exactly. I think that main point that every artist is going to have their own unique path is just like, that's just the way it is. Every business owner in any business is going to have their own unique path. It's like, just think about like every plumbing business, you know, it's like they didn't grow their business all the same way. Like you all kind of take a different path, and it's mainly because of you know, whoever the owner is of the business, whoever's making the product, and like, you know, what you make, because the product, like it's your product, you know, and just, you know, some people don't want to do shows in person, Pat. Some people do, you know, and some people find a path through shows and online, right? And it's just like a different path. Some people are just online, and some people want to do commissions. Some people don't. Some people want a discount. Some people don't, right? It's just every single path is a little bit different, and you have to find your way. Our role, we view our role at Art Storefronts as putting the wind behind your back, giving you as much information and data and playbooks and coaching to give you like the highest probabilities of like what's working right now, you know, in the market. And then you can go and tweak and do everything to make it your own in any way that you want to, because you have to use it, you know, like these things, and the website as well, right? Like when we're talking about merch, do we believe that, if we were starting a business based on the data that we've seen, would we be offering merch as an artist? We would, right? But that doesn't mean that it's a requirement to be successful, Absolutely not. We had plenty of artists that were successful before we built merch into our platform in like 2020 or 2019, whatever it was. Plenty of artists. This was not stopping anybody from being successful, but we've just seen, the accretive nature, meaning like the people who started offering merch that were selling prints, their revenue went up, and really good things happened.
And number of new customers acquired.
New customers acquired, all of that. Yeah. Yep. Because like, if I see your art and I'm not in need of something to hang on my wall behind me, and I could buy a set of coasters on the spot, I will just buy them right now. I don't need to ask anyone. They're for me. They will go on my desk, and that's the benefit of that. But it's up to you. And the other thing too that's great is that like all of these things are really easy to test. I love how Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, and we talk about this internally a lot. He talks about how like there's reversible decisions and there's irreversible decisions. And it's really important when you're making decisions to put them in one of the two categories, because you might be belaboring over something like, should I do this? Should I do that? And really the only question is it reversible? Is it easily reversible or is it not? And if it's reversible, like, oh yeah, I could just try selling merch for like a week or a month or something like that. And then I could just turn it off if I don't like it. Or I could try whatever it is. And that way that'll give you the freedom to test things more and see if things work for you or not. And if you like them, and if you don't, you just turn it off, you just stop doing it.
I literally, I had it pulled up and I just closed it down and it's like, no, I've got to share it. Right. So how we think about decision-making at Amazon, and this is June 19th, 2016 or 2015 when he did this. One-way doors, type 1, decisions that are consequential and nearly irreversible should be made methodically, carefully, slowly, with a great deliberation and consultation. Two-way doors, type 2, decisions that are changeable and reversible should be made quickly by high judgment individuals or small groups. If you've made a suboptimal decision, you can reopen the door and go back through. And that's the whole thing, right? Like that's the whole thing right there. I didn't realize I wasn't screen sharing it. It's a little bit small, but this is the actual whiteboard, Nick, where they came up with this concept. I saw it on Twitter and I was like, oh man, I got to go grab that. Or I saw it on X. But the reversible decisions versus irreversible decisions, and that's the whole ball game.
Yeah,
it's the whole ball game. I didn't realize I didn't have that pulled up on the screen.
Okay, so you've got a webinar in 20 minutes now at the top of the hour, right?
Yep.
Starting.
Yep.
Anyone who wants to go, type the comment Zoom. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, if you type the comment Zoom, we will send you back a link to Pat's webinar. You can actually ask him questions directly if you want to, right? Are you taking questions today?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Yeah. And we have if you're on our email list, you know about this. We have a massive deal ending tomorrow, guys. It's the end of the month. Tomorrow is the last day of April. So our team is running demos all day today. If you want to if you want to learn more about art storefronts, see a demo of everything, all the, the website stuff, all the marketing stuff, how we help you get more, get more eyeballs on your art and actually execute a marketing plan. We help you with all of that. So you can all you want to do is see a demo. And if you go to our website, you can, links in the bio, obviously. There's always a request a demo button, an orange button in the upper right-hand corner of our website. Just click that and somebody will reach out and they'll ask you some questions to make sure that you're a good fit, because we want to make sure that you're actually a good fit first, that we can help you. And then they'll run a whole demo for you. You can ask any questions you want, see any details, and see if you want to take advantage of this April deal that's ending. Yep.
Which is going to be a big deal. I love this question. Is there such a thing as too much limited editions, right? So you're like, okay, I have too many of these things on my website, or I have too many of them, period. Is it affecting me? My guess is no. And the reason no is because if you asked 100 art buyers, why didn't you buy that work? No one is saying there's too many limited editions, right? They're just not saying that. There's something else going on. Because I think like in your head, you're like, do I have too many limited editions? Is that why people are not purchasing? And how you solve for this is you got to talk to people. You literally got to talk to people. Like anyone that comes into
Yeah.
your ecosystem at all, if you can just have a conversation with them, why did you buy? Why did you not buy? What did you think? You'll start getting to the data much quicker, right? Because right now it's just a finger in the air. Like maybe the reason this stuff's not selling or not selling as well as I like it to is the fact that I have too many limited editions, right? But case in point, reversible decision. You know, if it was too many limited editions, it's pretty easy to just pull a bunch of those down. And, you know, if none of them sold, you can open them up, right?
We make the same mistake ourselves. You know,
All
we
the
have to
time,
remind
all the
ourselves
time,
to
all
talk
the
to people.
time.
As soon as you get into theory land where it's like, oh, I think it's the fact that, you know, this is on my website, you know, is like, that's the reason I'm not getting the orders, you know, or it's this, or it's this. And then you start changing stuff. And what you have to do is you have to talk to people, you know. Easy way to do that is like, you got to get them on your email list, you know, if you're getting them on your email list, or even if you're getting comments on social media or something.
That's enough. Yep.
You just ask them, say, hey, you know, my website's, I'm kind of new at this, you know, or I got a new website, or like just, you say, you know, something like that. Love some feedback from you, you know, of what you thought, you know, like, you know, are you in the market for art? Or are you just kind of checking things out right now? Just get a feeling from them, because like, you know, you might be modifying things, so you probably are. When I gave that example earlier of me, where I'm like moving down the funnel and the guy doesn't even know it, the artist doesn't even know it, you know? And it's like, there's nothing wrong with your site. I was on your product page. I was like, you know, like I was going to, you know, maybe add to cart, but I got to talk to my wife and we're going to figure this out. But you're doing nothing wrong. You're doing everything right. Just relax, you know, keep marketing, keep showing me this stuff. We may actually buy one of these things, but you're doing everything right. You're all good. You just need to keep at it, you know, and just do more of it so that you get a lot more of me, you know, of me's, you know what I mean? Like into your funnel, onto your website. Because the more people that you get that are looking at your art and all that stuff is how you're actually going to get people to go to the other side. And you'll have more people to talk to as well, you know, to get feedback from.
Yeah. It's amazing. And I do love your notion, Ifrit, of wanting to have a range of prices. That's one of those things that we we like to teach on quite a bit. It's just important. It's like for me, because I'm the marketing guy, like I'll never get off this notion of, I know that marketing is one of the most difficult things that you guys do. And so I want you to get the highest ROI when you do them. Right. And that's where this range of pricing argues. But do you have anything else to hit them? I got to go open the Zoom room and get ready.
Nope.
Come see me on Zoom, you guys, if you want to. It's going to start literally in 15 minutes. You can just leave a comment. Not on YouTube, sadly, but if you're on Facebook or Instagram, you can leave a comment in Zoom. And my little message.
How else can they get the link if they're on YouTube or anywhere else? How else can they get the link?
They can watch the live stream
right now, because we're going to probably send out another webinar. Are you streaming it live though?
No, I'm not allowed to stream this one live. This is the deal. Yeah. So yeah.
So drop the comment and get your link, I guess, right?
Yep. Love to see you all in there. And then anytime you see us live, guys, any questions that you have, we want to answer them directly. And Azalea, I saw yours. I didn't completely understand yours. You know, I'll have to see what's going on with your ticket, because I know you have a ticket opened up on it. But something about not being able to do a live art show, which, you know, the minute you can do a live art show, I want you to do that. Anything art, you just have to leave a comment with the word Zoom. You too, Xanadu. Just in the comment on Facebook, just type the word Zoom and boom, we'll send it to your direct message. And I'll see you guys in there. It's gonna be a good one. I'm fired up about it. But awesome. Nick, thanks for the time. Thanks for everyone else.
Thanks, everyone.